Hey viewers, I've just tested out the new tutorial mode in the Dota 2 Reborn beta client, and I'd like to share my thoughts on what it gets right and what I'd like to see added. It's called a guided bot match, and you can find it under the Learn tab. They've given you the choice of a strength, int or agility hero to play as, which is a bit better than just having sniper in the old one. All are fairly simple heroes from a mechanics point of view. I picked the Luna. So you're launched into a bot match on the full game map. These tooltips pop up, pausing the action to give you directions. Now, these presuppose a bit of gaming knowledge, what a map is, how to move your character, etc. But this mode isn't aimed at people playing their first ever video game. It's more for people coming across from League of Legends or RTS fans trying out a MOBA for the first time. So the guide promises skill and item builds, and offers a little justification for the choices. At this point, it doesn't really outline the role of a carry. It mentions that Luna deals a lot of damage, but it doesn't really explain that you should have a balance between damage and utility. When you go to level up, a skill is highlighted, like with community hero guides. A tooltip explains what the ability does, and I like here that it points out Luna Blessing being a passive skill and not a button that you need to keep pressing. You're also given suggested starting items to buy. If you open the shop, it restricts what you can buy, so you won't mistakenly get 20 tangos or something. And once you have those, you're sent off into the wide world. I do really like that they've paired you with a dazzle, to lower the chance of new players feeding and getting frustrated with the game. A big point is made about surviving and farming being the priority, which is very good advice. Now I did encounter a major bug with this, where the game was registering my Alt key being constantly pressed. Clicking on the ground issued a command to the bots, and I was unable to use any items or abilities. It did eventually fix itself, so I'm not sure if it was related to this mode in particular, or just the new engine needing some polish. Once you've amassed some gold, you're given an explanation of how to buy your items, and how the courier operates. I'd like to see a warning here that the courier can be killed, and that it's a big deal if it is. When you skill up Lucent Beam, not only does it describe the skill, but it also tells you to hold off until level 2 before harassing with it, in order to save mana, which is good habit forming advice. I remember it took me a fair few games of Dota to get the hang of efficient mana usage. The next objective from the guide is to farm up your core items. I'm glad they did this, since it's all too tempting to start fighting before you're really ready. Looking back at my Dota buff again, I didn't get past brown boots until about my 10th game. I just went and brawled. As you complete each core item, you're given a little explanation of what it does, and also some justification as to why you're buying it, explaining here the balance between high attack damage and high attack speed. This mode automatically detects if you're taking too much damage, and it explains to you how to avoid this, running back from towers and letting the creeps tank the shots, or switching creep aggro when you're attacking heroes. Once you finish off your core items, the next objective is to destroy all 6 outer towers. Maybe it would be better to just have you push down the one lane to save time, but I suspect that these bots are using the regular AI rather than a dedicated script, and wouldn't necessarily follow you. A point is made that you should stick with your team when pushing towers, and that's good. A great feature here is a range indicator for the tower shots to help you learn the safe distance. The guide told me to build Manta style, but I didn't get an explanation about the secret shop until I actually went there to buy my ultimate orb, and worried that new players would get stuck on that trying to find it. If you go a bit too YOLO, the bots will kill you, and here you learn about TP scrolls. I would have appreciated an extra line about how they have a long cooldown, so they should be used cautiously, and how you should always carry one. Finally, you're given the task of entering into the base and destroying the Ancient. I'm glad they recommend BKB for Luna, as I've played with too many Lunas that refuse to get it. Hopefully it'll trickle up. And with that, victory is achieved. I felt this was a good bridge between the old tutorial and the regular bot match, especially for people that like step-by-step instructions. I tried the Sven guide as well. It's essentially the same thing, but it makes some good points about why you shouldn't push the lane with cleave. I think it would be great to have something similar to this for playing a support role, where the objectives could be upgrading the courier and placing wards, for example. Thanks for watching guys, please like and subscribe if you found this useful, there's more Dota content coming soon.